السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وأنفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. I hope you guys are all doing great today. Alhamdulillah. Today, inshallah, we'll be discussing the rules of the Nun and the Meem with Shaddah. So it's called Nun and Meem Mushaddada. So whenever Nun and the Meem has Shadda in the Quran, it has a different rules from other letters that have Shadda. Right? So other letters in the Quran also do have Shadda. So you guys know the rules of Shadda, right? We already discussed Shadda 2 weeks ago in the class. As a matter of fact, as an advice to everyone who's just joined this group, just watching this webinar, we've done many other webinars or classes before this one. So you might find this one hard if you haven't joined or watched other videos, classes we've had for the past 6 weeks or more than that. So I urge everyone joining the class right now for the first time to try to watch all the previous classes we've done on the other rules of Quran recitation, inshallah. So Shadda, this is Shadda, everyone can see Shadda here. And whenever you have Shadda on a letter in the Quran, the default state of a letter with Shadda means the letter, like for instance here, this fa has Shadda. So for you to have Shadda, it means the fa is in duplicate earlier on. It's doubled. But for convenience sake, it was put together on one letter and it gave it Shadda. So it means this fa that has the Shadda here, if you break it down, the pronunciation means you have two fas. You have a silent fa and a fa with fatha. So for you to be able to pronounce Shadda, like I used to tell my students, you have to assume you're pronouncing firstly a silent form of that letter first. If you're not doing that, you can pronounce the Shadda in a letter of the Quran. So like this one, af. So all other letters of the Quran and the Nun and the Meem with Shadda, they have the same rule. But the letters of Nun and Meem have an additional rule of Shadd. So that's why we treat them separately whenever we talk about Shadda. So whenever a Nun and a Meem has Shadda, you will absolutely observe this rule, but you had another thing. You had Ghunna. So a letter or Nun with Meem, or a letter Nun or Meem with Shadda, despite you observing the Tajweed rule of pronouncing Shadda letters with Shadda, like you assume you're pronouncing one, a silent form of the letter, and a mutaharrik, a one that has vowel sound, right? So the additional rule for letters of Nun and Mim is that you have to add Gunna. You have to add what? You have to add Gunna. So the Gunna, we already talked about this earlier on in our previous classes about nunation, right? So the Gunna is called nunation, right? So you pronounce the Gunna with your nasal cavity, right? So let's practice some Shadda. And the rule for pronouncing letters with Shadda is the same thing across the board, but letters of Nun and Mim has an additional rule. That is to say, whenever you apply the rule of Shadda on them, then you had Gunna as well. You had what? You had Gunna. So nunation. I'm going to practice that shortly, inshallah. So just to recap, any letter that has Shadda, it means that letter is doubled. And that's why I named the title of the class today, Double Nun and Meem. So you wonder why did I call it Double Nun and Meem? That is to say, letters that have Shadda, they are doubled letters. They are doubled letters. So the one fa here, it means fa غير متحرك, a sakin, and the one that has haraka, right? And if you want to pronounce this one, which we'll go into right now, and so you assume you're pronouncing a silent nun with gunna. So whenever we pronounce a silent nun, normally we gunna, right? So so the difference between a letter of nun and mim with shadda, when you want to pronounce them, is that you have to apply gunna, right? You have to apply gunna. So let's go into the rule of the nun and the mim shadda, right? So letters of nun and mim with shadda, so you have to what? Pronounce them with gunna for 2 durations, for 2 seconds or 2 beats. And if you want to stop on them, and we already talked about stopping on letters. So when you stop on a letter in the Quran, you automatically give the letter sukun unless the letter is having fatha alif med, right? Unless it's having alif med, right? So a letter you stop on it in Quran, like this one here, you want to stop on qadir, you give it sukun, you give the ra sukun because you're stopping on it, right? So for pronouncing a letter with shadda, nun with Shaddah, Meem with Shaddah, and even stopping on them, you have to give them, two durations of the pronunciation in terms of the tanween and the ghunna. So if you want to pronounce this one here, so you have to apply the rule of Shaddah, right? So you assume that you're pronouncing two noons, one that is silent and another one with Fatha. So that's how you're going to be able to pronounce this letter very well with Shaddah. So you're going to say in. So you see, I was assuming I'm pronouncing a silent noon first before I pronounce it out. I pronounce the second one out Fatha. I hope you guys can see my mouth. Right? So you have to do that duration for 2 seconds for you to be able to pronounce the Shaddah of a known letter with ghunna, right, included. So Inna Allah ala kulli shay'in qadir. Okay, so let's pronounce a noon and we're gonna stop on it. فَيَوْمَئِذٍ لَا يُسْأَلُ عَنْ ذَنْبِهِ إِنسٌ وَلَا جَانٌّ. So you see, you want to stop on the noon, and the noon is having Shaddah, right? So we don't pronounce the tanween because we are stopping on the noon, absolutely. So we don't pronounce the tanween, but because it has Shaddah, we have to stop on it for 2 seconds or for 2 beats, right? 2 durations, right? Wala jan, wala jan. You see that? So you pronounce it, you stop on it, you have to pronounce them for 2 durations, right? Inna Allah, right? So you see here, I was pronouncing the noon and I was pronouncing as if I'm pronouncing one noon silently, another one with fatha, right? So when you pronounce this one here, you stop here, you have to stop on the noon for 2 durations. Wala jan. You see that, right? So in continuation, you're reading it or you're stopping on it, it's 2 durations of pronunciation, all right? Well, let's give more examples of letters of Meem and Nun. So the Meem, it has Shaddah. So the way you pronounce it is the same way. So you give it the Ghunna, plus applying the Shaddah rule. Summun, right? Summun. You see, I was pronouncing the silent Meem first before pronouncing the other one with Dhamma. Summun bukmun umyun fahum la yarji'un. Summun bukmun umyun fahum la yarji'un. Right? So the one I want to observe is the summum, right? So I was pronouncing the Meem, pronouncing one silently and pronouncing the other one with Dhamma. And I was adding Ghunna. So you see the Ghunna is pronounced with your khayshum, right? With your khayshum, with your nasal cavity. Like we call it in the nation, right? Right? Summum, right? Summum bukmun, right? So that's how to pronounce the Meem with Shaddah. So وَإِن كُنتُمْ فِي رَيْبٍ مِّمَّا. You see that, right? وَإِن كُنتُمْ فِي رَيْبٍ مِّمَّا. So you can never get it Shaddah of the Meem and the Nun pronounced without having Ghunna. You can never get them pronounced without having Ghunna. So you have to observe that. And mind you, it's going to be for 2 durations, 2 seconds or 2 beats, right? Fi raybin mimma. A lot of people find it hard to pronounce Shaddah, and it's because people don't want to observe the Shaddah rule. So the Shaddah rule is for a letter, is you assume you're pronouncing 2 variations of the letter in a single letter. So this Meem here is having Shaddah, so it means there are 2 Meems, one with Sukun, one with Fatha. So you have to have that at the back of your mind whenever you pronounce the Shaddah of Meem in this area here. So fi raybin mimma, right? Fi raybin mimma nazzalna ala abdina. So you see how I pronounce the zal here as well. The zain here, I pronounce it with Shaddah. So nazzalna. So you have to assume you are pronouncing two letters, one with sukun, one with the fatha here. So that's how the shadda is pronounced. But we're more focused on pronouncing meem and nun with shadda. And so you pronounce it the same way like any other shadda, but including gunna. Including what? Gunna. So وَإِن كُنتُمْ فِي رَيْبٍ مِّمَّا نَزَّلْنَا عَلَى عَبْدِنَا. Right? So I'm going to give you guys an homework today. If everyone is interested in that, I'm going to create a folder where everyone is going to recite their Quran. The next slide, you guys will turn it into the group, into that folder, inshallah. So let's try to read the third example here. وَبَشِّرِ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ أَنَّ لَهُمْ, right? أَنَّ لَهُمْ جَنَّاتٍ تَجْرِي مِنْ تَحْتِهَا الْأَنْهَارُ. So the one I want you to observe here is أَنَّ لَهُمْ جَنَّاتٍ, right? So you have to observe that ghunna when pronouncing shadda on nun and meem, right? So let's do this last practical example, right? لم يطمثهن إنس قبلهم ولا جان. So for you to stop on this nun, it has shadda, although it has two dhammas, dhammatani, you don't pronounce those dhamma because you're stopping on the letter, right? But you have to observe the special rule of shadda because you have to stop for two durations, right? لم يطمثهن إنس قبلهم ولا جان. You see that? فلنقصن عليهم بعلم وما كنا غائبين. So I want you to observe the way I pronounce the shadda here of the sad here. So it's not what we're learning today, but it's the same rule of shadda. But the only difference is for nun and meem, you add ghunna, right? فلنقص. So I see I pronounce the sad. I was pronouncing two sads. So I'm pronouncing one with silence, haraka with sukun, and the other one with fatha. فلنقصن عليهم بعلم وما كنا غائبين. Right, so لمن تبعك منهم لأملأن جهنم منكم أجمعين. لمن تبعك منهم لأملأن جهنم, right? So لأملأن جهنم منكم أجمعين. So this is how to pronounce letters of nun and letters of meem with shadda. And for practice sake, I would like to give you guys a bonus homework. I will create a folder in this group so everyone can send their audio recordings of their recitation of this next homework. So I want you guys to pronounce this. So if you're watching this video later on or right now, so you can practice this. You record yourself. It's going to be 5 minutes or less than that. And I'm going to create a folder in the group where you're going to put in your recordings. I'm going to give comments on that. Right? I'm going to give you comments on it. So let me give you an example of this one. فيهن قاصرات الطرف, right? فيهن قاصرات الطرف لم يطمثهن إنس قبلهم ولا جان. So you see how I stop on the noon. ولا جان. So let me stop on the meem and see it's the same rule. فأخذناه وجنوده فنبذناهم في اليم. You see that? So the way you pronounce the meme with the meme with shadda is the same rule with nun and the meme with shadda. So the way you stop on the nun with shadda, the same way you stop on the meme with shadda. Two durations, two counts. So you see when I stop on the nun here, I said wala jan, and when I stopped here, I said fil yam, fil yam. فأخذناه وجنوده فنبذناهم في اليم. So the normal thing is whenever you want to stop on a letter that it's not having alif med in the Quran, you give that letter sukun. So this meme here, despite it's having kasra, but the moment it's having shadda, we're gonna give it that durations, two durations to stop on it. فنبذناهم في اليم, في اليم, في اليم. You see that? ولا جان. So وأن ألق عصاك فلما رآها تهتز كأنها جان، تهتز كأنها جان ولا مدبرا، ولا مدبرا ولم يعقب. So you see the rules of Shaddah is uniform across the board, with the Nun and Meem with Shaddah having an additional rule of what? Of Ghunna. So we're going to end here. So this is the basic rule of Nun and Meem with Shaddada. And I want you guys to do this homework. So I call it homework. So I'm going to put the screen up here like this. I want you guys to do this homework for your own benefits. Practice pronouncing this Nun and using the rule I just taught you right now, that you have to pronounce this Nun here, assuming you're having Nun, two Nuns. So whenever a letter has Shadda, it means the letter is doubled. So here, this Nun here, it means this Nun is two Nuns, one with Sukun and one with Fatha. So for you to be able to pronounce it very well, you have to assume you're pronouncing those two set of Nuns with Ghunna. Lam yatomithhun, right? Lam yatomithhunna insun qablahum. You see that? So I pray Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increase us in knowledge and benefit us with the Quran knowledge. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. I would like to have questions if anyone is interested in asking questions, bi'ibnillah. Subhanallah, I didn't connect my mic to the computer. Subhanallah. Yeah, subhanallah, I connect my microphone to the computer. So that's how the rule goes, and I pray Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will benefit us with this knowledge. And barakallahu fikum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.